just to get the question started, I think a little bit of ground rules. We have about 15 minutes. So may I request the participants to, question askers to kindly introduce themselves and try to make that question brief and focused. I have a question. Could you tell us to whom you are addressing the question?
My name is Fu. I'm a retired Singapore lawyer, and I would like to address the question to the whole panel, particularly to Professor Khankar. I'm very curious to find out, to find an answer to this curiosity of mine. It is common knowledge that Indians are particularly good in mathematics, and without which many important modern sciences would not have developed. Does the panel think that is this due more to nurturing, i.e. education training, or more attributable to genetic factors, or a combination of these and other factors? Thank you.
Can we perhaps take just one or two more questions so that we can yes, please. Right. Let's take 2, 3 together.
Hi, my name is Khankar from Institute of Southeast Asian Studies. One question to IIT. Recently, there was a study by McKinsey, and of course, you gave the beautiful presentation. The study said that only 25% of the engineering students from IIT and other institutions in India are globally employable, globally competitive. And only 10% of the graduates in liberal arts are so globally competitive, according to that study. And this was highly emphasized by Knowledge Commission report, established by the Prime Minister. Now, you were saying, your 18% growth in research papers and all that. And this study goes on to say that in terms of being cited, they are very good internationally. So maybe I would like to listen to your views on this, a little bit in the different views coming from that study in your presentations.
I think you can.
So let me first start with the question on mathematical ability. So what I would say is that in India we have a very strong filtering system. For example, my sister is horrible at math, but she went into fine arts. But there are lots of kids who are good at math who get filtered through. We have a science talent system and so forth. So they end up in these fields which require math. So I don't think that it's particularly anything related to genetics, but it's to do with the education system and the kind of filters that are in place. There are opportunities for students to develop their talents through various means. The McKinsey report is not related to IIT. I mean, that has got nothing to do with IIT. It has to do with these 1 billion engineers who are graduating apart from the IIT. I mean, 100% of the IIT students are employed before they graduate. There's no question of not being employed. And the top companies like Google, Microsoft, from US come for recruitment directly to IIT. I think that is not. Citations are to do with the whole country as a whole. The recent report that has come out for those citations is for the country as a whole, but it is increasing rapidly. But it's a very large number of people. It's doing reasonably for the state of evolution that we are in.
Yes, please. Good morning, thank you for the interesting presentation. My name is Narayan. I'm a doctor from Singapore, but worked 15 years in China. And also thinking that this initiative to boost university standards, train global leaders, I don't come from an academic background. My question is, what is the place, what is the role of the universities in India, China, Singapore? How are you attracting marketplace people to come in to interact with our students, because am I right to say that it's a key factor in producing global leaders? Thank you.
I think that is a very good question. It is true indeed that if we are to expose our students to, the best education that there can be, then we want to try and ensure that the faculty are diverse, have great expertise, and so this question of how to attract talent at the faculty level is critical. Two main comments there. One, in terms of finding the right faculty, attracting and retaining them here, I think it's important in what we do to remember those dual functions of a university, which is both education and research. That we're looking for those people who are not only at the cutting edge of their disciplines, and indeed working across disciplines where they are pushing the frontiers of knowledge, but that they're also able to communicate that effectively with students as educators. So that's one comment, that the kinds of talent that we're attracting need to be, as much as possible, people who embody those characteristics. The second comment is coming to Singapore. In a sense, Singapore is very much a hub in many ways. We talk about being a tourism hub, a medical hub, this hub, that hub, right? But in relation to academia, the main corridors of conversations, of dialogues, of conferences, etc., are very much at the moment in the West, whether it's in the US, North America, Europe, etc. How do we make it attractive for people to come here and still be engaged in that sort of global dialogue? Ensuring that we are competitive in terms of not just the personal benefits as such, but the research ecosystem. Ensuring that people who come feel that they have an opportunity to develop their ideas, their research, because the research ecosystem is supported. This is a national endeavor. So in the last recent years, for example, with the National Research Foundation being established, the support that's given to research centers of excellence, the kinds of not just financial resources to support research, but also the larger ecosystem, that there are other good people who are here, who people want to come and work with. Importantly, that there are good students, because professors very often do want to work with good students, whether it's graduate students or undergraduate students, so that we develop one, a supportive research ecosystem, and two, a talent ecosystem in which people feel like there are other good people we can work with. So it becomes a virtuous cycle in a sense. Yeah, I think I'll stop there and let my other panelists.
My comment, firstly, a university should respect the interest of the student. Yeah. And for our point of view, university right now would just adjust, evaluate standard for our faculties. Not only focus on the paper publication, but also the marketing requirements. We often invite the enterprises experts to a university to introduce their requirements, let our students know well what they need to learn for their future career. That's my comment.
Sets of questions. Yes.
Okay, my name is Peng. I'm known as a blogger, but I was also the public relations man for the Pan IIT Alumni Association back in April. Okay, just two quick points is one, this is aimed at Professor Kong. I I'm an anthropologist by training, and what I found is when I came back to Singapore to work in the early 2000s, it was very hard to find a job because people looked at you and said, what are your exact skills? So it's interesting to see that NUS is now pushing for a more liberal arts degree. Are you finding that the employers out there are calling for the type of people who are trained like me who couldn't get normal work many years ago? And the other question I'd have is, all three of you have talked about alliances with universities elsewhere, and I've noticed that all with Western universities. Do you see a time where we'll be having inter-alliances, especially in Singapore, where we are at the crossroads of Asia, where we will have alliances with IIT and with other universities in China? Thank you.
I'm happy to take those questions. Perhaps the second question first. Indeed, there already are very good relationships within Asia, though still more can be done. So NUS, for example, has a range of collaborations with the IITs, joint PhD programs, for example, with co-supervision and so forth. Certainly with the Chinese universities as well, there are very many relationships of various forms, research collaborations, student exchange programs. Shanghai Jiao Tong University is here on campus, across the highway in a research collaboration, for example. So many collaborations within Asia as it stands, but still more can be done, I think. On the first question, actually for a long time now, I've had the occasion and the responsibility to speak to employers about what kinds of graduates they're looking for. And to the last person, they've often cited the sorts of characteristics that I was talking about earlier. Graduates who are able to think critically, who are analytical, who can communicate, who can stand on their own 2 feet and be independent. Very unusually will I have people who say, I want an anthropologist or a sociologist, or let me just pick on my own discipline, a geographer, or perhaps the discipline of my good colleague here, a historian. They're not talking so much in terms of disciplines as much as they're looking for the characteristics and the qualities of graduates. And those sorts of characteristics and qualities can be learned and honed and developed through a range of disciplines. So in anthropology, that ability to dig deeply into a particular issue, area, culture, develop that understanding, the ability to work cross-culturally. As an urban anthropologist from Singapore working, I've been called the closet anthropologist, right? So as a Singaporean geographer / closet anthropologist working in China or some other culture, the ability to work across cultures, those are the sorts of portable qualities that come from whatever the disciplinary background might be that the employers are looking for. And in the establishment of the Yale NUS College, we've had employers from a whole range of SMEs and MNCs come as panel members speaking to prospective students and their parents to say, these are the sorts of qualities that we're looking for, and we believe that a good education in the liberal arts can develop those qualities. So we're hopeful.
Other panelists? But I think this will be the last question.
I think that we do have many collaborations with other countries in Asia. We're trying to build collaboration within India, which is also an important thing because there are a huge number of institutions within the country which within joint programs. Yeah, what your point is, I think a lot more needs to be done. But one thing that I might mention is that it's easy to build a collaboration with a Western university because we already have much of the machinery set up and we plug in there. Whereas when you do with some of, let's say, in the neighboring countries, that may not always be in place.
Yeah, you generally in university we always think about the teaching and the research. Sometimes they're complicated, but if we think about cultivate the talent of excellent student, they are either way we have to go teaching and research. For cross culture, the research is a very good path for international collaboration research program. For example, right now, SJTU and NUS, we have the joint program from the NRF, creative project. I think that through such kind of the collaboration, it's very good for us to educate the student as the cross-culture way.
Thank you. I think we have run out of time, and really we've had very scintillating, I would say, three different views here. And I hope in the afternoon session we get an opportunity to examine these ideas in greater depth. So let us give a big thank you to the two speakers.